Hello my dear friends, my name is Sanne and welcome back to another beauty video. Today I have another spring makeup tutorial for you, which I'm really excited about. My favorite makeup of the year is basically Halloween and then spring makeup, because spring makeup has everything. The pastels, the fun colors, the florals, the butterflies, everything. It's so cute. I love spring makeup. So today I have created a look for you that is influenced by everything that I love about spring makeup. So we have a butterfly wing shape with florals, all sorts of lovely pastel colors and bright yellow, fake freckles, the whole everything, the whole shebang. And today I'm gonna show you how to create this look. So let's quickly get into this tutorial. I'm gonna start by priming my face, and for that I'm using the Essence Fix and Last Jelly Primer. Make sure everything is nice and covered and tacky. And then we're gonna go in with a tiny bit of BB cream to cover up the redness in my cheeks. Get a nice canvas going. And for that I'm using the Porito Cica Clearing BB cream, which I'm using just very lightly, because it's a bit like not really my color, as you can probably tell. It's a bit on the darker side and it's really cool toned. But I think the reason that it's really cool toned also makes it easier for me to blend it out, even though it's darker, because I don't immediately look like extremely orange. It actually works pretty well for my skin after blending it out. And then we're gonna cover stuff up and highlight the face a bit using concealer. And for that I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish. I'm just using that to cover up my eye bags and some extra redness, and also lighten my highlight points, my high points on my face. So I'm just blending it out using a wet sponge. Okay, so I have all the spots covered. So I think it's time to make sure this stays. So we're gonna set our face using some powder. I think with the look that we're going for today, a really glowy base would also be great. So if you have any products that work well for a really glowy base, I think this would be a good look to try. But we're just going for a matte face today. So I use the Essence All About Matte Fixing Loose Powder to set everything. Make sure you don't go too thick with this powder, because then you'll get like this really thick layer on top and it does not look nice. Just gonna go in lightly with a glowy bronzer, just to get some color in my face, basically. I just like going in with a glowy bronzer every once in a while. And then I want to go into some blush. So first I'm going into a deeper blush that I'm gonna put towards the edge of my face. And for that I'm using the e.l.f. Primer Infused Shimmer Blush in shade Always Hazy. And we're just placing that towards, like, around my eye height, on top of that cheekbone. Like basically just above where we just applied the bronzer. And then I'm gonna go into the Moira Signature Ombre Blush in shade Morning Sunshine to add a bit more of a like bright pink. So we're gonna go for fun and bright for spring, you know. So I'm adding that a bit more towards my cheeks. And I'm going really lightly with a really fluffy brush for this one, because this one is extremely bright. So I feel like we've glowed up my face quite a bit over here. So I want to add some fake freckles to my face now. So for that I'm going into my water-based face paint palette. I don't have like any fake freckle products or whatever, but this is just a nice face paint palette that I also use for graphic liner or whatever. So I'm gonna go into these brown shades over here. Just add a bit of setting spray. And then going in with a small brush. Usually I want my graphic liner to be like really pigmented, but for this I don't mind if it's like slightly less pigmented, because I want to blend it out a tiny bit, which makes it look a bit more natural instead of just having bright dark spots everywhere, you know. So we can have some more pigmented spots and some less pigmented spots. Then we're just gonna blot them out a tiny bit. So I basically just randomly dot down some spots and then just, while they're still wet, go over it with my fingers. Just to kind of blend them into my skin a bit more. And also kind of like double them. Because if you just go randomly, you'll just, you know, stamp it down at a different spot as well. Which makes it look a bit more natural in my opinion. And I'm first going in with these to create like a base. And then I'm going over them with the other shade that's a bit darker. Not because it's darker, but more because it's more cool toned. And these are very, very light, warm toned. They don't completely match my skin. I'm just going into the shade that's a bit darker. For some reason I always feel like Pippi Longstocking when I do fake freckles. So now this base is done, so I'm just gonna set it. Okay, then let's get into some brows, shall we? So I'm using the Essence Brow Powder set in the darkest shade. And I'm using the lighter shade of the two to just brush through my brows. And then I'm setting the hairs in place using the Essence Brow Like a Boss Ink Brow Gel in the darkest shade, I believe. This is shade number 4. And I'm sorry, that bottle looks absolutely gross. I don't know why, but that just happens every single time. I close the tube and then for some reason it comes pouring out the sides. So this stuff is literally everywhere. So now we're getting to the fun part. So we're gonna do eyes. And I'm just gonna rub the absolute last bits of this primer onto my eyes. This is the Makeup Academy Eyeshadow Primer Enhancing Nude Base. I'm just rubbing that out, creating a layer. So let's add some color first, shall we? So I'm going into the Colourpop Fade Into Hue palette. I'm just going to use the Yellow Row. And I'm going into Abstract, which is the lowest shade. And also the brightest yellow. And I'm going to put that in my outer corner. I'm also going on the bottom, just keeping that to the outer corners. Then we're gonna go into one of the top shades, Big Smile, which is their pastel yellow with some glitter in it. And we're gonna use that to kind of blend out that brighter yellow. It also adds a pinch of sparkle to the look. And with this one we're really going in that inner corner of the lid. So we're just gonna make sure everything is blended out for the most part. It doesn't need to be blended out greatly into detail yet, because we're still gonna go in with a lighter shade. Because I'm also diving into the Root Cosmetics City of Dreamy Lights palette and going into the shade Checkpoint, which is basically an almost white yellow. And we're using that to really blend out those edges into your skin. We just want to make sure everything is nicely blended, just so we have a good base to put all the graphic liner on top of. So now that you have all of that blended, we're going to add some shimmer. So first of all, I'm going into the shade Shine Bright from that Colourpop Fade Into Hue palette. Just applying that right next to that deeper yellow. This is just going to be a really basic yellow look, basically. But the graphic liner is what's going to make it fun. And then I'm going back into that Root Cosmetics palette, going into the shade Gold Coin, which is a bright yellow, almost golden shimmer. And then I'm just going to go into the shade Blatant by Chaos Dirt. Really get that inner corner highlight going, because that just adds a ton of sparkle. So now we have the basic makeup look done. This is the base that we're working with. Just a simple yellow look. We're going for bright yellow. Very cute. And now we're just gonna add a ton of liner. So let me zoom y'all in. So I'm first gonna go into some white graphic liner, which again are my water-based face paints. And I'm just using this to map out my look. And white is of course the easiest to paint over. So that's why I'm using that shade. And I don't need it to be extremely pigmented. I just need it to get the shape going. So now I'm grabbing a mirror up close. Gonna map out. And I want to stay like a tiny bit above my crease. Like when I'm looking like this, you can still see it. Because if I put it too much in my crease or a lot lower, it will transfer because of the way my eye folds. So I just want to make sure that we're staying above my actual crease right here. And then we're going in like a bit of a wing on top. And then from this outer corner, a nice rounded moment. And then on the bottom, it's a similar thing. Going like this. So this is like the butterfly shape we're going for. I'm gonna do a bunch of flowers. A bunch. So this is gonna take a while. So I'm gonna show you how to do a few of them. Let's see. Let's start on this eye. And I'm gonna basically create this shape with flowers. So we're gonna apply the flowers on top of the line that we just drew. Let me start with a very simple one. Basically a star. Now I've been mixing some shades, so I'm using pink and then I'm using a mix between purple and a tiny bit of blue to create like more of a lavender lilac shade, and I'm gonna use that to actually draw a lavender. Just dots. And then I'm gonna draw another simple flower using a light blue. And I also mixed up a nice pastel orange. I'm gonna use that to draw a rose. So these are all the colors I'm using for the different flower shapes. And then I'm gonna go in with a yellow, so we can do the hearts of some of these flowers. And then I've also created a pastel green to go in and draw some leaves. So we have the stem of the lavender and a nice little leaf for the rose. So that's basically the gist of what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna fill up this entire white shape with these flowers and then I'll get right back to you. Okay, I'm back. I have all the flowers added. Look at that! Just flowers in the shape of a butterfly wing. It's cute. I think it turned out really cute. So we're just gonna finish up this look, and for that I'm gonna use a few different things. First of all, I'm gonna line my waterline using a yellow eye pencil. This is the shade Bright Sunlight by Maxim Moore. So just lining that waterline, making sure it matches the rest of the look. Then I want to add some highlighter, and for that I'm going into the Vain Beauty Pink Quartz highlighter. Because this one is really sparkly and I love it. Just applying that softly, try not to ruin my eyeliner. Okay, so we got a lovely highlight going on. Then I'm gonna line my lips using a Meeki Eyepencil, which is in a lovely neutral pinkish shade. I feel like this is really my lips but better kind of shade. And yes, this is an eye pencil, but I've been using it as a lip pencil ever since I got it. So this is also going nowhere near my eye because I don't want any eye infections. When I have that on, I'm just gonna apply a tinted lip balm, which is by Root Cosmetics in the shade Blush. I think this is a really nice bright shade, just for spring, you know? And then to finish all of this off, I'm gonna add some mascara and lashes, and I'll be right back with you with the finished look. Okay, I am back with the finished look. I added mascara and then the Root Cosmetics Neko-Chan lashes. So here we have the finished flower butterfly look. You know, it's just a perfect mix of everything. Inspired by spring. We have flowers, we have butterflies, we have yellow from all the spring colors. It's just perfect. I'm really happy with how this turned out. So yeah, that is another spring makeup look done. If you have any questions about this tutorial, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer any of them. I'll also leave a list of all the products that I used in the description down below, so you can check that out as well. Let me know what kind of other tutorials you want to see from me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. If you want to see even more from me, my blog, my socials, my gaming channel, and everything else you need to know about me is all linked down below, so you can check that out as well. And that's gonna be it for me today. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Toodles!